Hello class. Once again, we're going to talk about surface area, but this time we're going to talk about surface area of a cylinder. So this is the last video about surface area. We've talked about what surface area is. We've talked about how to find surface area of a rectangular prism. We've talked about how to find surface area of a triangular prism. And now we're going to talk about surface area of a cylinder. So this brings about two new formulas. In the previous videos, we've done surface area of prisms, and we use the formulas surface area is equal to the perimeter of the base times the distance between the bases for lateral surface area, and for total surface area, the perimeter of the base times the distance between the two bases plus two areas of the base, because we've got two bases. With the cylinder, we've got circles for bases, so we have a different formula. For lateral, we have surface area is equal to 2 pi RH. And for total surface area, it's the lateral surface area, 2 pi RH, plus 2 pi r squared. And we'll find out in a few minutes where all that comes from. So let's see if we can answer a problem just by using the formula. So in this particular one, I want us to find total and lateral surface area of this particular cylinder. So the first thing that we do is we write our formula down. And we start with total surface area. So S equals 2 pi RH plus 2 pi r squared. Now this is a rather long formula, but all you really need is two pieces of information. You need to know the radius, and you know need to know the distance between the two bases. So we start surface area equals, and we just start plugging in the information. That's the beauty of the geometric formulas, is you're just finding what it tells you to find. So 2 times, for pi we use 3.14, times, now we need the r. The r is the radius of the base, and a radius is halfway across. So in this particular one, I gave you a diameter, so in order to find the radius, we need to cut that in half. So we do 15 divided by 2 to get 7.5. And then we multiply that by the height, or the distance between the two bases, which is our 20. Now, if we just type that in, we will get our lateral surface area. But we're going to go ahead and finish this out with total surface area. So plus, and then 2, the formula says 2 times pi, which is 3.14, times the radius times radius, because that's what r squared means. Well, we found the radius in the first part of the formula, so we just use it again. 7.5 times 7.5. And then what we do is we go to our calculator and just type all of that in. Now we have to be very careful. The most common mistake that's made is we forget to use a plus sign in the middle. So here we go. Let's type that in. So 2 times 3.14 times 7.5 times 20 plus 2 times 3.14 times 7.5 times 7.5. When we hit our enter key, you end up with a total surface area of 1,295.25. We look at our label, inches squared. And that's what we have for total surface area. Now, if we want to know lateral surface area, then we just go back and we look at just the first part and we type it in. 2 times 3.14 times 7.5 times 20. And you'd end up with 942 inches squared. So the formula itself is pretty easy. But now let's find out, where does this formula come from? Well, the net of a cylinder looks like a division sign. We have two circles and a rectangle in the middle. Okay, so when we look at our formula of S is equal to 2 pi RH plus 2 pi r squared, where do we get that from? Well, let's start here at the end, the 2 pi r squared. Well, I'm hoping that you realize that the pi r squared is just the formula for a circle. That's this one, pi r squared. But how many of those circles do we have? We have 2 of them, so that's where the 2 comes from. So 2 pi r squared gets our 2 circles, gets the 2 bases. Now what about the rest of this barrel in the middle? Well, I'm hoping that the height is pretty evident. The height is the distance between the two bases, which would be the distance between those circles. Now, if you really pay close attention, this distance right here, if I were to take this circle and fold it forward, the length of the rectangle would be the same thing as the perimeter of this circle, or the circumference of that circle. Okay, so to find this length then, we use the circumference formula, which is pi, or 2 pi r. So in order to find the area of this rectangle, it's 2 pi r, which is our length, times our width of h. So that's where the 2 pi r h comes from. Okay, so that's where our formula is derived from. So let's see if you can do one by yourself. Again, the formula is S is equal to 2 pi RH plus 2 pi r squared. So pause the video and find the total surface area and lateral surface area of this cylinder. Okay, let's see how you did. So now we're going to write down S equals. So now we just start plugging in our information. 2 times 3.14, because that's what pi is, times, well, in this particular problem, I gave you the radius. I gave you halfway across, so that's what we use. Times 8 times, and now our height is the distance between our bases, which is the 22, plus, then 2 times 3.14 times, and our radius squared would be 8 times 8. So now we just type that in. So 2 times 3.14 times 8 times 22. Now if we hit enter here, we end up with our lateral surface area. So the lateral surface area is 1,105.28, in this case, feet squared. Now if we continue, plus 2 times 3.14 times 8 times 8, you end up with your total surface area of 1,507.2 feet squared. And that's all there is to finding total and lateral surface area of a cylinder. We're just plugging in to a formula.